Good evening, welcome to EzeSportsTV on Sports Central Nigeria. This is the midweek sports review, and of course today I have Kesta, the usual suspect with me to do this. Kesta, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, we'll be starting right from the Nigerian Professional Football League as usual. We've had a couple of games over the week. Nasarawa United winning Dakada FC 1-0. Heartland playing out a goalless draw away to Wiki Tories. Sunshine Stars 2-0 better than Enyimba International. Rivers United, of course, 3-0 better than Niger Tornadoes. Plateau United coming back to winning ways after that defeat to Heartland FC. It was 1-0 over Remo Stars. Gombe United winning Kesta United 1-0. Enugu Rangers 3-0 over Aquara United. Aqua United continuing their winning ways. This is their third straight win. They won Lobby Stars 1-0, and of course, Sunshine Stars. Sunshine Stars winning. That was the game before the weekend where Sunshine Stars won Rivers United 1-0, and of course, Heartland of Owerri winning Plateau United. Kesta, there's been a lot of games in the Nigeria Professional Football Leagues. Heartland of all teams have gone 2 games unbeaten, of course winning Plateau United right here in Owerri, and of course going away to Wiki Tories to getting that 0-0 draw. Heartland have actually moved from the 20th position to the number 17th position, still in the relegation zone, but at least they've actually made progress for the first time in a long time as far as this particular season is concerned. Rivers United and Plateau United losing again in the same week and again bouncing back to winning ways. They are still at the top of the log. Rivers, Remo Stars losing that game to Plateau United, of course. Enugu Rangers winning 3-0, to come back to the third place. The league, keep getting interesting by the day. Unlike before, you can hardly predict what is going to happen as far as the Nigerian Professional Football League is concerned. Of course, the defending champions, Aqua United, are currently 5th. They've gone 3 games, winning strict, scoring lots of goals, winning 6-1, winning 4-1, and of course 1-0 in their last game. Kesta, how are you seeing the season so far?
Still, the way I've been seeing it from the start of the season, a very interesting season we are having. I mean, Aqua United, Plateau United, Rivers United, Rangers, Remo, the 5 teams that have, that have been, winning games, getting wins away, and of course gathering points and making sure they stay on top of the table. Of course, Rivers United being the best league so far with the amount of games they've won, I think they have 55 points currently, 4 points better than Plateau United right there on the top of the table. You can now say that Rivers United, as I've always said, are very much advantaged as it stands now. They are the favorite to win the league because they are really doing all they could. 4 points ahead of Plateau United. So that's a good one. And for Heartland, 2 games unbeaten now, a win. And of course, that draw away have moved them from the bottom of the table to the 17th position, just 1 point behind the team. I think Lobby Star in the 16th position. So they still have the chance to survive as it stands. What it takes is a couple of wins. If you can put in some wins together in Nigeria Professional Football, you can always find yourself moving, places in the table. So if Heartland can, continue with the momentum of trying to survive, it's still in their hand, as I always say. All hope and all loss, but we've not seen this kind of reaction from them in a while. But it's good to see that they still have that spirit and they still have that fight in them to try and see if they can survive on the table. 1 point behind Lobby Stars, who is in the 16th position. I don't think it's too much for them if they can continue with the momentum and try to play themselves away from where they are right now. So it's a very interesting season, like I said. But as it stands, Rivers United to me is going to win this league. Now we have a competition between Plateau United and of course Rangers to see who makes it to the second position, of course, to qualify for CAF Champions League. And then there's also a fight for the third place for the CAF Confederation Cup. Remo Stars still in the mix, also pushing. Of course, there's still Aqua United, the defending champion, in the 5th position, also pushing to see if they can end up in that third position to make it to CAF competition next season.
Well, I think Kesta is already writing the league off by saying that Rivers United would win the league. There's still a lot of games to be played. We've just played the week 25. There's still so many games to play as far as the Nigerian Professional Football League is concerned. And talking about Heartland, Heartland is a team who are actually the worst defense as far as this season is concerned. But then seeing Heartland go 2 games without conceding a goal, do you think it's always been about the defense? I think Heartland have actually scored the fewer goals, and they've actually conceded the highest number of goals. I mean, do you think in trying to improve the squad, of course, you need to start from somewhere to make it to the next place? Do you think the defense is where they need to concentrate on, or do you think getting to score more goals is where they should focus on at the moment?
There's a reason why they're in the relegation zone, and it can only be because they are considering a lot of goals. It's always about the defense first, as far as I'm concerned. If you can cover up your defense very well, the worst that can happen to you is you get a draw in the game, and that's 1 point for you. But if you keep on leaking goals, at the back, there's no way you're going to win a game. So the best way to win is, first of all, not concede goals and then try to score. And that's why you see some teams that are prepared and plan themselves in a way they defend solidly very well and try to see if they can do something going forward. So Heartland, I think what they should focus on is what they're actually doing in the last couple of games they have played, trying not to concede goals, and of course, try to see if they can get something up front. So I favored them in these last 2 games, a win and a draw for them, 2 clean sheets. I mean, it's not a bad way to fight to see if they can survive in the league.
All right, moving to the English Premier League, we had games over the week. Of course, Arsenal going away to Chelsea to win Chelsea right there at the Stamford Bridge. 4-2 it ended in favor of Arsenal. And of course, Arsenal continued with that momentum to winning Manchester United on Saturday. 3-1 it ended at the Emirates in favor of Arsenal. Aston Villa playing out a 0-0 draw away to Leicester City. That's Aston Villa getting a point after 6 games. Of course, Manchester City winning Watford 5-1. Gabriel Jesus getting 4 goals for himself. Norwich City losing 0-3 to Newcastle. To Newcastle, a team who's been in a very good form at the moment. And of course, Brentford playing out a goalless draw with Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea on Sunday winning 1-0 against West Ham. Of course, Liverpool, winning the Merseyside derby. 2-0 it ended in favor of Liverpool against Everton. Southampton playing out a 2-2 draw with Brighton and Hove Albion. And of course, Burnley winning Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-0. Kesta, Manchester United, losing that game to Liverpool 4-0 it ended. It was a very shameful appearance for Manchester United. And then they've gone on to lose another game in like manner to Arsenal. Arsenal, a team who have actually gone 3 games without winning a game, getting that win over Chelsea in the midweek, and of course continuing with that form. And of course Chelsea, getting back to winning ways after that defeat to Arsenal, 1-0 to West Ham. And then of course Manchester City and Liverpool keep pushing the title at the top of the table.
Yeah, a very interesting EPL that we also having, just as we have in the Nigerian Professional Football League. There are a lot of things to fight for as it stands now in the league, and that's one interesting thing about the end of the season, where a lot of people are fighting for different things. Liverpool and Manchester City is still fighting for who wins the league at the end of the day. Manchester City is still having the advantage of that 1 point on top of the table, and they won their game 5-1 it ended over the weekend for them. Gabriel Jesus with 4 goals, as you rightly pointed out. Of course, Liverpool came back and responded in their Merseyside derby game against Everton. Everton also a team that's facing a lot of challenges. They currently have dropped into the relegation zone as it stands, and as a result of Burnley also winning their own game, who is also in the fight to survive. So very interesting league we are having currently. But I think a lot of people are looking at how the top 4 is shaping up. Arsenal, a team that performed so well this season with Mikel Arteta. Of course, they have made sure that the hope to qualify in the top 4 has remained in their hands. Of course, we saw that those 3 games they lost on the bounce, and then they came back with big games against Chelsea and Manchester United, where a lot of people expected less from them, and they proved a lot of people wrong in winning those games. Emphatically, not just winning, but they deserve the points. Of course, winning very well both at Stamford Bridge away and of course at home against Manchester United. So Arsenal, a team now currently in the 4th position, comfortably in the 4th position, and rightly deserving to be in that particular position. And then with the help of Tottenham also slipping off and drawing their own game over the weekend, have given Arsenal that chance to see if they can continue, pushing and make sure they finish top. Of course, there is still that North London derby to come, which a lot of people have thought about to be the decider of who makes it to the top 4 at the end of the season. Arsenal playing against Tottenham later on in the season. As it stands now, Manchester United, without loss against Arsenal, is now 6 points behind Arsenal, and I played one more game, more than Arsenal and Tottenham. So I don't see how they're going to make it again with just 4 points remaining for them to play this season. I don't see how Manchester United are going to make it to the top 4, because this is not a fight against just Arsenal, but you still have Tottenham also in the mix. So you have to hope that both of them will lose some games before you now win your own to bounce back and occupy that position, of which is not always going to be easy for them. So I think the best Manchester United can get now is to try and finish 5th, and make it to Europa League, still play European football next season. But the top 4 now have become a very difficult one for them to achieve, when you have teams like Arsenal and Tottenham struggling out in that position. Currently, Chelsea did themselves some good. 9 minutes goal from Pulisic to win that one against West Ham United, a London derby game, a very difficult game for Chelsea, coming from that loss against Arsenal. They played very well. They couldn't convert their chances. A penalty miss by Jorginho towards the ending of the game, ending of that match. But they came back and won that game. And for them, that position is where they really need to make sure they hold, because you can never say never in Premier League. You can never be comfortable where you are, because a lot of teams are really hungry to make sure they finish in that top 4.
Okay, Kesta, thank you so much for that wonderful analysis. Last night we had Champions League football returning. It was the semi-final, the first leg of the semi-finals between Manchester City versus Real Madrid. It ended 4-3 in favor of Manchester City right there at the Etihad Stadium. Karim Benzema scoring 2 goals. And of course, Kesta, who saw that fixture last night, Madrid were expected to be the bigger team, considering the wealth of experience they have, and of course, considering the coach of the side. But also, Manchester City are a good side who finished as runner-up last season as far as this particular competition is concerned. And in this season, they are having a very good season as well in the Premier League and, of course, in the Champions League. It turned out the way it turned out, Kesta. What do you have to say about that game?
Well, coming into that game, I never saw Madrid as a better team or a better side or a more experienced. Okay, I can say they are more experienced considering the caliber of players they have. They have won this competition quite a number of times. Sometimes experience counts, but placing the team on head-to-head, I never consider Madrid a better side, ahead of Manchester City, because we know Manchester City have been a very good team with the way they have played this season. With Pep Guardiola, who is equally a very good coach. I won it all as far as football is concerned. Against a Carlo Ancelotti side, always going to be a very big match, but not at the disadvantage Manchester City. And during the course of the game, you can see that they both teams matched themselves. The brilliancy was there. Whenever Madrid is having the ball, you enjoy what they do with the ball, how they move the ball quickly, trying to create something for themselves. The same thing in Manchester City. They created a lot of chances on their own, of course, scored 4 of them, and Madrid with 3 goals. So it was a very balanced game for me. It was a very interesting one. But Manchester City was slightly having the advantage in terms of creating chances and all that. But this is Madrid we're talking about. It takes a lot to create chances against Madrid side, of course, and going ahead to score the goal. So a 4-3 win for Manchester City. They're having the advantage of that one goal now. We can't just wait for 8 days now and see how the return leg is going to be in Madrid, because Madrid have proven this season that they can always come back and turn it around for themselves. We know what they did against PSG when they were I think 2 goals down, in that second leg. They bounced back with the Karim Benzema hat-trick, winning that one. Against Chelsea, they won away in Stamford Bridge. They came back home, didn't perform quite well. Of course, they still stood their ground and made sure they survive and pull through to the semi-final. So against the Madrid side, you can never be comfortable with a 1-goal lead. You can never be comfortable with a 1-goal lead. They can always turn it around. But a Manchester City side, if there's a team that can beat Madrid and knock them off Champions League, I think it should be Manchester City.
Okay, Kesta, it 4-3 ended in favor of Manchester City. Do you think the UEFA scrapping the away goal rules, is actually playing out in favor of Manchester City, or do you think it doesn't matter? Do you think it's a disadvantage for Real Madrid, or do you think it played in favor of Manchester City? Because the second leg, even if Real Madrid goes on to win that game 1-0, it doesn't guarantee them a spot in the finals. It will move the game to extra time.
It doesn't. Yeah, the scrapping of away goal rule, to me, didn't really change much about the game because, everybody knew coming into the season that that's how it's going to be. The away goal had been scrapped, so nobody should feel cheated or anything because you are now getting the away goals, because coming into the season you already know that away goals are not going to count. So going by how the season have gone so far, I don't think so many teams have even had that opportunity to say if the away goal rules were still around, I would have made it through. I've seen games that are actually won actually by the teams that progress through the competition and deservedly so. But yeah, if the away goal rules is still here, would have been saying something different. It would have been much advantage Real Madrid, where they just have to win one goal, as you said, and make it to the next round. But I mean, nobody says Manchester City cannot go to Bernabeu and get 3 goals of their own. So we are here to see that game, to see how it's going to happen at the end of the day, and see who progresses at the end of the match.
All right, Kesta, Karim Benzema, what a season he's having. 41 goals in all competitions so far. 9 goals in the last 4 Champions League appearances, and of course he now has about 8 goals in the Champions League semi-final, 1 above Lionel Messi, 7 goals rather, 1 above Lionel Messi at the moment. I mean, it took him until 34, to find his best form. I mean, we've seen players like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi scoring 50+ goals every season, of course Roberto Lewandowski, but now we have Karim Benzema doing that. 41 goals in our competition so far. There's still a lot of games to play before the end of the season. What a season he's having, Kesta. Yeah,
what a season he's having. Benzema have always been one of a very good player. He has always been, but of course, you talk about playing with a player like Cristiano Ronaldo, who's always going to steal the headline, do it by himself and all that. Benzema have always been this good. But when you have those players, that kind of player in the team, of course, he's going to outshine you, score more goals than you. But I think he deserves what the attention is getting right now. Back with the national team, it seems it has added a lot of happiness in him. Of course, giving him that realization to perform at the level he's performing right now. He's having a very good season. If he doesn't end even the Ballon d'Or at the end of this season, of course, people like me will be very surprised. I don't think much people deserve him more than him as he stands now. He's playing so well. Of course, you mentioned the record, 7 goals in semi-final. I think only Cristiano Ronaldo with 13 now. He have scored more semi-finals goals than than Karim Benzema in the history of Champions League. Currently 15, in the Champions League this season. He's actually topping the goals, and I don't see anybody overtaking him to win the Golden Boot. So he deserves the attention. He's also doing it for Real Madrid in the La Liga. 25 goals in the league. I mean, Benzema, he deserves what we have. We can't wait to see how the season turns out, how things turns out at the end of the season for him.
All right, Kesta, for the shout for Ballon d'Or for Karim Benzema, of course, there's a certain Mo Salah right there, who's equally having a very good season for himself. And of course, Mo Salah and Liverpool will be in action tonight in the Champions League fixture right there at Anfield against Villarreal. Villarreal are currently the Europa League champions. Villarreal knocked out Paris, of course, Juventus, and of course FC Bayern Munich. Not a lot of people gave them chance, to do all they did, but here they are in the Champions League semi-final for the second time in the club history. That game is going to take place tonight, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Kesta, Liverpool they've been in a wonderful form, beating almost all opponents that comes their way. Do you think tonight's game is going to be something like what we saw last night between Manchester City and Villarreal, or Manchester City and Real Madrid, or do you think it's going to be a one-sided game for Liverpool, or do you think Villarreal will do the same thing they did with Bayern Munich and of course Juventus tonight?
It could be any of those expectations. Anything can happen in this game, but I've seen a Villarreal side that deserve to be where they are right now. I mean, you can't keep doing something right and people think you don't deserve it. I mean, they deserve to be here, knocking out Juventus, knocking out Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, before being knocked out, we are considered one of the favorites to win the Champions League with the kind of players they have, Lewandowski and all that. But you saw Villarreal winning that game. Knocking them out of the competition. And then you look at the team that won the Europa League last season against Manchester United, a team that had to only lose to Chelsea in the Super Cup only by penalties. You look at that team and you know that they can surprise you any given day. So I don't think it's going to be easy for Liverpool, even though they're going to be playing the first leg at Anfield. Liverpool, yes, they have the advantage. They have the advantage. They are more experienced side. They have better players and all that. But against a Villarreal side, they have a very good coach that likes European football very well in Emery. And with the belief they have in the side now, they can always cause problems for any side they face. And fortunately for them, they're not going to be playing under pressure, because knowing that everybody will expect Liverpool to win this one. But it might give them that confidence to come into the game to try and see if they can pull off a surprise. At the end of the day, it's going to be a very good game as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Kesta, over the weekend we had PSG celebrating their 10th League One title, and of course FC Bayern Munich with 3-1 win over Dortmund, winning their 10th consecutive Bundesliga title. Real Madrid need just a point this weekend to be confirmed La Liga champions. Of course, there's still a lot to be played between Liverpool and Manchester United, and of course Inter Milan, Liverpool and Manchester City, and of course Inter Milan and AC Milan right there in the Italian Serie A. Of course, beside the game tonight, Kesta, there will be Chelsea versus Manchester United tomorrow. A very tough game it is. Manchester United on the back of back-to-back defeat after getting that victory over Norwich City, and Chelsea, of course, didn't get that victory over Arsenal, but they reacted positively by bouncing back to win West Ham 1-0. Kesta, how do you think that game is going to be? Of course, this is the Premier League. This is football. You cannot outrightly predict what will happen. But by going by current form, do you think Manchester United can pull up any surprises against Chelsea? Or what do you think? How do you think this game is going to play out come Thursday evening?
I think, Harrison, before the Arsenal game with Chelsea, a lot of people think Chelsea are going to win that one. I predicted Chelsea to win Arsenal, considering their current form. And Arsenal, we are on a losing streak, and then losing 3 straight games to teams you expect them to do better against. But they came back and won Chelsea in that one at Stamford Bridge. 4-2, it ended in their favor. A match between Chelsea and Man U is always a big game. I mean, these are 2 top clubs in England and Europe. So it's not a match, it's not a game you can just predict based on form. But of course, the advantage is with Chelsea, considering the current form, and I think they're going to be playing at home in this one. So you expect them to have more advantage, and of course, play under lesser pressure than Manchester United, who will be looking at this game as the final nail on the coffee to see if there's any chance for them to make it in Europe. If they lose this game tomorrow, it's over for them. I mean, this is the only chance they can give themselves to see if anything can still happen in the league to make sure they qualify for Champions League. So they will come all out to give it their all in this particular game. So it's not going to be easy for Chelsea, even though I expect Chelsea to win Manchester United considering the current form.
All right, Kesta, quick one. I will need a prediction from you. The game tonight between Liverpool versus Villarreal, and of course the game tomorrow between Chelsea and Manchester United.
You see, I've always favored this big size in my prediction in Champions League. I remember saying that Bayern will trash Villarreal in their tie in the quarterfinals, and then Villarreal came back and shocked me to knock out Bayern Munich. And I think I have to respect them this time around. The game against Liverpool is going to be a close one, just like the game we saw last night between Real Madrid and Manchester City. I expect Liverpool to win, but a 3-2 win. I see Villarreal, causing them a lot of problem on counter-attack and getting some goals for themselves. Well, Liverpool 3 goals, Villarreal 2. Of course, Chelsea against Manchester United tomorrow. Chelsea will win that game. Man U might get a goal. 2-1 win for Chelsea for me.
3-2 win for Liverpool against Villarreal for Kesta, and of course 2-1 win for Chelsea against Manchester United. We'll be here next week on the Midweek Sports Review to review those games and see if Kesta actually got his predictions right. This is still the Midweek Sports Review, and of course, Kesta, is always a pleasure to do this with you. Thank you so much for coming into the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Of course, Ralph always behind the cameras and making sure that you, the fans, are able to watch us talk sports every Wednesday on Midweek Sports Review. I still remain your host, Harrison. Continue to keep a date with us. Thank you and have a nice evening.